Welcome to the second fashion case study video. Today I'm going to be looking at somebody who is very different to Nana Komatsu, who I did the first video on, and today I'm going to be doing it on Ayusu. As you can see, his artist name is P3EZY, or just PZ for his music. And so yeah, he's like a underground rapper, musical artist who has like a very unique sound. And I think that plays a role into how he dresses.
Starting off, I really do believe that his uniqueness in musical style and just being a strong personality is ultimately going to allow him to have a higher bar for how he dresses. So I'm making quite a generic claim here that, like if you're a unique individual, you're going to dress in a unique way. But with fashion today becoming so copy and paste and just recycled, as things stand today's like October 2025, things are already like pretty well into the resurgence of the 2000s. With like the Margiela Future sneakers and the skinny jeans coming back, which is on topic with this, and the Hedi Slimane boy and the Revolutionista girl, and just like a mix of those two like slim rock style aesthetics that like you even see like Playboy Cardi shifting into, moving away from the more like opium Rick Owens avant-garde look. And instead of fashion just being something that you're fitting into trends and you're finding like, oh, let me find like how to make a slight twist to something that's ultra popular. It's not only the first time it's being popular, it's probably like the second or third. It's just recycling. Instead of doing that and just ending up looking like everybody else, I think you have to dress according to your personality. But his model agency has. So he's also a model as well as a musical artist. And I think that plays a huge role, obviously, because he has his influences from hip-hop and the music world, which ultimately is interconnected with fashion. But also, he has direct access to like runways and the styling that designers put together, which, in my opinion, is much less accidental than creatives. Like when I think of an artist or a creative, and if I see like a really good outfit, part of me thinks that it's like intuition that got them there, and so they're gonna miss a lot, but they're also gonna have some really spectacular pieces which encapsulate what I've been talking about in terms of their personality and just representing who they are. But when it comes to designer styling, it not only carries the intuition, but it carries a huge amount of experience, knowledge, and craftsmanship. And so, if the designer is good, and so when you have access to that and you're in that world and you're seeing the styling that designers do, like a Hedi Slimane, it's gonna elevate your own style through understanding how Hedi Slimane styles for the runways. So, looking into this picture here, we have P3EZY in New York City, off of Suburban, and we see like the skinny jeans with the Converses. We have a slim shirt and a slim and cropped jean jacket. It's very slim. It fits his proportions. One thing in specific here that I think is common when people get skinny jeans wrong is that, like, the first thing I think of when I think of a bad skinny jeans outfit, I think of an Eastern European male with like regular trainers, which are usually wide, a regular fitted t-shirt, and skinny jeans. And the pictures I'm thinking of are like an Emporio Armani t-shirt or Armani Exchange, and they're like fit dudes. So the shirt's tight and the skinny jeans are tight, and they're wearing like regular wide sneakers, like a Yeezy V2. And something that I think is a requirement for skinny jeans to look good is for the silhouette to never like break in terms of the direction or shape it's heading. So if you start off with like Like you could do skinnies where you have a top that's like, let's say it's super wide here at the shoulders, but then it slims down. If it does that, you have to keep that shape all the way down. I don't think like with skinnies you can necessarily do like shapes like that, or have a shape that's more angular or slimming and then have like boxy pants. I don't think it looks good for you to have like a tight, like let's say a tight long sleeve like he's wearing, a slim long sleeve, and then have like the modern like super boxy pants. I mean, listen, there's exceptions. If you're really good at fashion and styling, you can figure it out and pull it off. But it's tough. And one thing about Converses and being high top Converses is that they fit into the silhouette of the pants, especially if you can like tuck them into the pants or just make it seem like it's all one piece. It kind of just goes straight down. It doesn't break that barrier. So that's very different than having skinny jeans and a wide shoe that isn't high top and that doesn't easily fit into the slimness of the silhouette. And so having skinny jeans with a slim long sleeve shirt and a crop jacket not only provides different layers to the outfit, which is just simple stuff, but it's all slim and so it goes together. And so like this is a good outfit and it looks natural on him. Obviously it matches his proportions. Most models are slim. And so this looks, I think it's a good outfit. Here we have a look that's way more experimental, and this is the second thing I wanted to get into. You're not going to be able to truly wear something that's unique to you if you're a person who represses their personality, if you're a person who conforms to how people think and how people feel. It's like the Kanye quote about if you answer everything, or if you talk as if everything's a test because you're going to be judged based off of it, then you're never going to be true to yourself, and every interaction is going to be cause anxiety, and there's going to be pressure because you're performing every time you speak. If you're always thinking about how people are going to react or what people are going to think, or if you're changing how you say things just so that the reaction is different. And I say all that to say that if you are like that with your personality, if you repress your personality because you're afraid of being corny, if you're afraid of being weird, if you're afraid of being too feminine, or anything like that, it's going to affect how you dress. And I'm not saying you have to fake outlandishness to have good style. If that's not you, then don't dress like, you don't have to be avant-garde, wild, experimental if that's not what your personality is. But most, at least in my opinion, a lot of people repress part of their personality, the part that repress, the part they're ashamed of, or the part they're afraid of showing, is often the part that makes them unique, the part that makes them most who they are. And if you have to hide that in social interactions, it's not going to come through in your clothing and your style. So next up, I actually want to jump to this fit here, because piggyback off of what I said, I personally don't like this fit. I think the vest doesn't fit well. The hair doesn't match. Like PZ sometimes puts on, I'm gonna say this is a wig. I think it's a wig. Puts on wigs to like match the essence and vibe of the outfit, which I think is like really unique for menswear. Like that's almost unheard of. But I don't think this one works. I don't think it's like horrible. I just don't think it necessarily is of the quality and caliber that his other outfits are. I think he's a very stylish person, and this is like much earlier on. It's an older post, so he's definitely gotten better and gotten more confident and gotten more comfortable and better understands what looks good on him and what is true to him. But this is still like, I love those Prada sneakers. The vest over a shirt combo is not bad. I think the fit of the vest with a tight t-shirt, it doesn't work as well. I think perhaps if he had the shirt tucked in, he had a belt, and the waistcoat, the vest was a little bit longer. So tucked in shirt with exposing the belt, and the vest was a little bit longer. I think this looks like a better outfit. But this comes with trying stuff. With trying stuff and being, and being willing to put yourself out there and taking risks, you're gonna mess up sometimes. You might look goofy, you might look ridiculous. So you gotta be willing to take that risk. You gotta be willing to look crazy, quote unquote. And he hasn't taken this down, so maybe he likes this outfit. If he does, that's awesome. But you have to embrace the bad outfits too, because they're part of getting to the point where you love the way you dress. And then here we have like a fun play on both of workwear jacket, that's like kind of like a bomber jacket with a more professional, smart look where you have some pants, some trousers that are pleated, look like dress pants. We have some loafers with, it looks like those are Gucci horsebit loafers. You have a shirt and a tie of an interesting material. It looks almost like a satin. And so it's like, and this photo is nice because he seems composed, and then there's chaos around him and movement, and he's still. So there's good photography elements here. But overall, this is like showing versatility. He's still the tie being awkward size in terms of where it ends. Normally in professional settings, you'd have the tie ending closer to here. Having this layer of material draped further down, so you only have one side of the shirt tucked in, is kind of like, it'd almost be, if he was dressed completely in a corporate sense, shirt tucked in, trouser pants, like everything fit well, but it's kind of uncomfortable, it wouldn't match his persona because he doesn't work an office job. So he instead has a bomber jacket that's a little long, a button shirt that's only tucked in on one side, a tie that is too short, and then the rest of the outfit's pretty smart. And so it works well. So in this look here, we have the complete rock star Hedi Slimane look. And I don't want to just keep calling like every slim silhouette Hedi Slimane. That's just kind of like where the trend is at. And as someone who complains about trends, I should do a better job of just like not boxing a slim silhouette into what the current trend is and saying like every slim silhouette is Hedi Slimane, that you can't do it in a unique, different way. You definitely can. But a slimmer silhouette, the purple pops out, looks great. It works well with the crop jacket because it flows further down. Here we have like a pattern that is quite out there, and then we have a striped shirt underneath that, and also a bandana with a unique pattern. And so like 3 patterns that are very different that I think normally people would struggle or not consider to put together because they'd be afraid of the juxtaposition being too loud. But I think it looks great here. I think, I don't know how it would look like if you had a lot of the shirt underneath showing, but this pattern is quite cool. It's unique. It's not like, just a standard cheetah print or just any one of these flannels. Like, it's 3 patterns into one. I think it's quite a nice shirt. But notice how the pants are like one block of color. The pants also don't have something going on. If you had another pattern on the pants, it might be too much for the eye. But the breaking of this into the pants and then the leather back boots, I like the look. It's quite different, and yeah. And then here, this is what I was talking about earlier, where again, using his skin complexion as part of the outfit. So we have a really bright red overcoat with some velvet pants, and again those Gucci horsebit loafers, platformed. So 2 things here. The contrast of the white before his skin complexion into the red, I think does a great job of like having the image flow in terms of gradually. It's not just one from the other. Not that the red wouldn't look good directly, but I think this does a nice job of providing different layers. The velvet pants are not high contrast to the red, but they're still significantly darker, so I think it's nice. It kind of provides like a segue from this bright red to the black of the shoes. And then lastly, the tie having accents of red but also a unique pattern just kind of puts the whole outfit together, because everything is monotone in terms of it's just one color. So you have a white shirt, you have velvet pants, black shoes, and a red jacket, overcoat. None of these pieces have patterns or are changing colors, and so it's nice to have a tie that includes as an accent color the main color of the outfit, but also has just a bunch of other patterns. So It's something that's interesting. And also just the layout of these photos, it's taken well. And then the last look I want to talk about is this look on the right. And so I think this is like really unique. We have a jacket that's kind of hard to see where it starts and it ends. You have some pants that have some like unique patches of silver and some bright contrast which match the buttons on the jacket. So overall I think it's pretty cool.